What's up, guys? How you doing? Doug here again. Recording Connection Audio Institute. We're going to take a look at setting up for a mixed situation. We're going to do this fairly quickly. First thing we're going to do is open up a new session, and I'm going to name it The Siege because that's the song that we're going to be working with, and this is actually one of the songs that you'll be using for your, potentially be using for your final mix assignment on this particular chapter, Chapter 12. So once our session opens up, we need to get audio into our session. Now, there's a multitude of different ways to do this. You can import session data. Sometimes you'll open up a session and you'll save a copy in. For this particular session, we're just going to import audio directly, and that's what you'll be doing. Here is the folder that I'm looking for, and it's actually on my desktop. It'll be wherever you save it. Let me see here. So I'll get that audio into my session. I'm going to select all of the tracks by holding Shift, going down, and then I'm going to hit Convert. It's going to take just a second for those to come through. Okay, so it's just finishing up here. Once those come in, it's going to ask me where I want those to appear. I want those to appear on new tracks. Okay, so here's my session real quickly. First thing I want to do is I want to organize the session. Okay, I want to put my tracks in the right places. So immediately all tracks will be selected. Okay, to get out of that, I'm going to hold Option and click on any of the tracks. Then I'm going to click, the way I like my session set up is drums at the top. So I'm going to grab my kick drum, move it to the top. I'm going to grab my snare, move that to the top. I'm going to grab my hats, move that here, both overheads. Okay, next thing is going to be my bass guitar. Then I'll start with my regular guitar, so we'll have the acoustic first, and then guitar 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I'm going to have my harp. And then I'm going to have my vocals. The comp vocal is what I want. That's the main vocal. Actually rename that. Maybe it's a little bit confusing there. Lead vocals. And then this second one is a lead vocal for the chorus. So now that I've got everything organized, I will color code everything. So shift select all the tracks I want in this particular color coordination. Next thing I'm going to do is I want to go through and I want to organize the track into particular sections. So since this is something I'm getting and I don't know how loud it is, first thing I'm going to do is go over here to my mix window, which the quick key to get over here fairly quickly is Command plus and equals. I'm going to make sure that my groups view is viewable, and I do that by hitting this button right here. And then I'm going to turn on my all group. I'm just going to drop my faders a little bit. That way I've got a little bit of room. Everything's not going to be blaring. It's too loud. And then I'm going to come back over here, Command plus and equals, or Control if you're on the PC. Go back, and I'm going to actually go through and lay some markers down for my session. Okay, first thing you want to do, though, before you do that is come to your Preferences window and make sure that this button is clicked. Always display marker colors. And the reason why we're going to do that is because we want to have the ability to color code the markers so that they're easily visually distinguishable. Remember, the goal here is to set ourselves up to, make things as easy as possible for a mixed situation. So let's take a listen. So starts out with an intro. Lay a marker by hitting Enter on the numeric keypad. This is going to be my intro. And I'm just going to lay the rest of these markers while it's playing. I'm not going to explain each marker, so you'll see what happens. It's a fast way to do this. So I've got this broken up into sections. It's fairly close. Let me just check this out. So fairly close. Now that I've got these all laid out and visually I can see where everything is, what I can do is I can navigate to any of these markers very, very easily. Each one is numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. The way I navigate to, let's say, marker number 4, which would be the first pre-chorus, is I hit the period key on the numeric keypad, then I hit number 4, then I hit period again, and you see my cursor starts there. So that's a really quick way to navigate through the song without having to like stop and where was that chorus again, and you're looking for the waveforms, and this way you just know, okay? And after you've navigated to one or more of the sections over and over again, the numbers start to become familiar, and believe me, you're going to use this in the mix situation. I mean, you're going to spend a couple hours with this song, okay? So now I've got everything set up as far as color coding. I've got it organized. The one thing we're not going to do here that I may do in a normal situation is I would discover the tempo of this particular song, and then I would add it to whatever this is right here. There's the procedure for doing that, but we'll get to that later. There'll be some tutorials on using Beat Detective or Identify Beat or any of those that allow you to conform your tempo to your song, but it's non-essential for this particular lesson, okay? The problem would come if let's say I wanted to add some instrumentation over this, or I decided it could use something, and I wanted to have a grid set up, I would want my tempos to be accurate. So we'll get to that a little bit later. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make things easy on myself in a mixed situation and add some tracks. Since I've got the last 2 tracks selected there, I can hit Shift Command N for new tracks, and then I can go ahead and put myself a master fader, and I can also add 4 auxiliary tracks. I'm going to choose stereo auxes for these particular tracks. You know what? Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do 2 stereo and 2 mono. So I've got 2 mono and 2 stereo auxes, and this first one is going to be a chorus. See, I'm getting myself set up here so that I don't have to worry about it later. I don't have to stop in the middle of things. These are things I know I'm going to use. I'm going to use a chorus on the guitar. I'm definitely going to use a delay on a couple different things. And then I'm going to have reverb. My room reverb is definitely going to be a stereo, so I'm going to have this be room verb, and I think I'm going to use a spring as well. Okay. So I'm going to get these set up, so I'll have the plugins already there, and I've stripped my system down. I'm actually using Pro Tools 11 so that I only have the same plugins that you guys have here. So those are already set up. These all need to be monitoring a channel as well, okay? They need to listen for a channel. So for this one, I'm going to set this up on bus. Let me do it down here. So I'm going to use 53. This one will be 54. This one, since it's a stereo, needs to have a double, right? So I'm going to set this up as 55 and 56, and this is going to be 57, 58. Now I'm going to go back so I know that those are my dedicated buses. I'm going to rename those buses. First one is 53. So I got to drop this down. 53 is a mono bus, but I'm going to rename it chorus. Okay, now if you notice, all my inputs on my aux channels have changed. I'm going to leave all of these green because green to me means aux channel. So now I've got everything pretty much set up. Another thing I can do really, really quickly is I can select all of these tracks. And just to make it easy, I'm going to hold down Shift and Option. For due to all selected, I'm going to add a channel strip to each of them. Now I've got myself really ready to go. It's just a matter of setting basic levels and doing some light panning is finding a place to start. So I'm going to flip over here to my mix window. Oops, and I'm going to do this again, listen, and I'm going to go through and just set some basic levels. Solo some tracks, take a listen to what things are. Okay, so I've got a basic place for starting now. That's it for this session, guys. And for your first assignment, basically that's what you'll have to do. You have to set yourself up for the mix and do some basic levels of panning, and then you'll be good to go. In the next, you'll see us kind of progress through the mix in the coming chapters here to come. Any questions, don't hesitate to give us a call. Also, get yourself signed up for tutoring if you're not already signed up. It's absolutely free to you. And, you can sit there with an engineer like me and we can go over some different songs. You've also got a lot of other stuff, other songs you can mix and remix and do your own stuff. MIDI, anything, sky's the limit. So take care, guys. That's it for now.